Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah,
Instant reaction here to this game too. What a wild one.
bro, unbelievable game. Let's just hop right into it, man. No introductions needed. It's your boy Corey. It's your boy Brandon. We are the House Divided. If you've been here before, you know what it is. If it's your first time, me Casa Su Casa B Hill hit him, and let's get into it, bro.
Guys, real quick, just do four things for us. Hit the subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you guys can be up to date on all our newest and latest content. Also, if you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button as well. That's going to help us out as well to get this channel, keep it growing. Last but not least, guys, we want to hear from y'all. Hop down there in those comment boxes. Tell us how we're doing good, bad, right, wrong, and different. We don't care one way or another. So, Corey, man,
Whew.
what a game. It started out, Miami Heat came out of the gates hot. You know, they had that 11-point lead to start off the game real early. Denver
Mm-hmm.
kind of took back control, seized a little bit of control.
Mm-hmm.
Nikola Jokic tonight, my guy, for him to drop 41 and 11 and them to still lose, whew,
Yeah.
that's tough right there. He didn't really have his running mate tonight, though. Jamal Murray didn't really start picking up some steam there until that fourth quarter when he hit a couple of those big threes. But it's just, man, I don't know. That game was just wild right there. I felt like Denver played good in stretches, and the Heat took advantage of every kind of Denver turnover or Denver opportunities that Denver presented them, which is what you have to do in the NBA Finals, Corey, to be successful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you look up and down there, Duncan Robinson, when he came in that third quarter and just started lighting them up in the beginning of
Yeah.
the fourth, end of the third, beginning of the fourth, things started kind of heating up for him and everything. And for Duncan Robinson being a player that was pretty much seized to the bench for part of this year, you know what I mean? For him to come in there and do that kind of stuff, Jimmy Butler in the fourth, man, Bam Adebayo, shout out to you, my guy. There it is. That's what I've been calling for. They knuckled up tonight, man. They played good, tough defense on them
Defense.
boys. And they came in there and they got the dub. That was the first home loss for Denver in these playoffs.
Mm.
So what's your takeaway on this one, Corey?
Man, we talked about this last show. I said Caleb Martin only had 3 points. Your boy Max Strus has zero. He went 0 for 9 from three, I think, last game. The 3 point shooting for the Heat to me was the story in this, bro. If you just go down the line, 2 for 5 for Butler, 4 of 6 for Gabe Vincent. He didn't shoot the ball all that well last game. Max Strus, 4 of 10. That's 40%. That's a good shooting percentage from three. Duncan Robinson, you alluded to this, 2 or 3 from the three. Caleb Martin was only 1 or 2. He only had 3 points again, but he did hit that one big shot in the corner. Kyle Lowry gave you 2 or 3 from the three. So the 3 point shooting, and you said it, defense, bro.
Defense.
It looked to me as if they were cool with letting Jokic get his, and then Jamal Murray kind of had it going earlier in the game, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna shut off the perimeter.
They did.
Let Jokic get what he gets in the lane, but we're gonna shut this perimeter off. We're not gonna let anybody else beat us. And
Nope.
that kind of shut down everything that the Denver Nuggets wanted to do. Look at Jokic's assists, bro.
I
Four,
know.
4 assists.
Yep.
When's the last time
That,
he had single digit assists in a game, bro?
and shout out to Miami on that defense for that, man, because if you're not gonna necessarily stop him from scoring. I mean, he can almost get whatever he wants whenever he wants. You can't really stop him from rebounding because he's just going to be. But if you can take the passing ability away from him, I mean, just go up and down. Look at that box score, Corey, for them. Michael Porter Jr. only giving you 5 points. You held Jamal Murray, who's been absolutely red hot this whole entire playoffs. You held him to 18
18.
points.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bruce Brown, Caldwell Pope, you only gave him 6 points. Caldwell Pope had 5 fouls in this game, and there was a couple of those fouls. It's like, what are you
What are you
doing, my
doing?
guy?
Yeah.
You don't foul 3 point
3 point
shooters when they're
shooters.
shooting the ball. I think he did that like twice in crucial moments in this game to kind of give the Heat some momentum.
Yep.
Um, I mean, Kevin Love being inserted into the starting lineup, he didn't have the gaudy numbers, but for him to give you 6 points and then give you 10 rebounds, those
Yep.
were big. You know,
Yep.
he had a couple of steals as well. he played good veteran minutes for them in that starting lineup. So
the outlet passes that he does, him
yep,
kickstarting the offense, is just like you said. It's not going to show up in the box score, but he just brings a certain toughness and the experience. Having played in all of those finals with the Cavaliers, that you don't get that anywhere else off the bench for them. So this, to me, this was a gutty win. I like the way the Heat jump in and out of their zone defense to kind of just throw the Nuggets off. They did that against the Celtics. It worked. And you can tell the way they came out, they set the tone early, bro. They set the tone early. It was 10-2 before you even knew it.
Yep.
And they made a statement. They was like, hey, we're going to be around. Now the flip side of that is, shoot, how much did the Nuggets get up by, bro?
They got up by, I think it was like 15, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. Yeah.
And so they were starting to flex that muscle, and I was like, well, shoot, here we go again. But the Heat, they always do this. It's the same team that the Bulls had down 3 minutes left in that second playing game. Yeah. It's the same thing that happened to the Celtics. They had a 12 and a 13-point lead in games 1 and 2 in the Eastern Conference Finals. They don't go away, bro. They just
you're not lying.
Don't. So this is why I switched my pick last show. This is why I went back to the Heat, because this is a gritty team. They don't go away. There's just a tough out, bro. And look at this now, B. Just forecasting this and looking forward. There's 5 games left in this series, and 3 of the games are on Miami's home court.
Yeah. So
they stolen home court advantage.
They do the 2-3-2 format in the finals too. So the next 3 games are going to be in Miami. In the finals, they switch that up from the 1-1-1. They do it to 2-3-2.
Did they go back to it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been like that.
No, they switched it 3 years ago, B.
No, sir. It should be.
We got to check the schedule now.
Hang on, I'm looking right now as we speak.
It was like that for a long time, but I think they switched it back a few years ago.
Versus Denver. Okay, you're right. Yep, it's 2. Wow.
Yeah, they changed that like 3 years ago. I think they changed that.
I'll be completely honest with you on this one, man. I look at this. You can look at this from a couple different perspectives. You're going to give the Heat their flowers. You're going to give them their roses, everything, all that. But, man, I got to look at it from this perspective too, Corey. I would argue to you that the Nuggets didn't play their best game tonight, and they still almost had a chance to tie the game up at the end.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
You see what I'm saying?
No, Mike Malone.
Mike Malone. Lost you for a second here, Corey. Where'd you go?
I'm still here. Can you hear me? You got me? Can you see me?
Yo. You still there, my guy?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hold on. Jump back in. I'm still in here.
I don't know. Something's going on with my internet here, but fuck.
I never left.
Did you lose Miz where it was?
Yeah, you left.
Hang on here.
To all the live viewers, if we have any live guys, this is going to go out on the video. I'll keep talking about it while my boy Brandon gets back into this thing, but just an unbelievable effort by the Heat. Not only, number one, being down 15 at one point in the game, hopping back into it the way that they did. The 3-point shooting, I said, was going to be a key. They shot the ball so poorly, and Mike Malone alluded to this in the post-game comments and yesterday in the press conference leading up to this game too. He said they didn't play good in game 1. He said the Heat were 5 of 18, I believe, on open looks from behind the 3-point line in game 1, and lost it. They just didn't shoot well. Max Strus went 0 for 9. He said that's not going to happen again. Caleb Martin still only gave you 3 points, but other 3-point shooters stepped up, and I think that was That was the key to me. B Hill, you're back in it. So I was just talking about Mike Malone's comments in the press conference yesterday. He said the Nuggets, he felt like defensively they didn't play good in game one because the Heat went 5 of 18 on open 3-point looks. They had 18 open 3-point shots in that game one. And he wasn't happy with the fact that it was a 9-point game with about 2.5 minutes left in that game one. And so this is the trend I was talking about. I said, I kind of think they figured some things out. If they just make their shots in game two, this can be a different story. And that's exactly what Mike Malone said yesterday. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened today. Max Strus, 0 for 9 game one, 4 of 10 today. I mean, and that's just one of the guys. 2 or 3 for Lowry, Duncan Robinson, hitting big shots. And then obviously right now the front runner for the Heat for Finals MVP, if they were to pull this off, 26 in game one, 21 tonight. Bam Adebayo,
man,
turned it on, bro. The way he played in these first 2 games, he would be the front runner for me for the Heat for Finals MVP if they were to pull this off.
Yeah, hey, no doubt, man. No doubt about that. I have to give you that credit there. Bam Adebayo, man, I've probably been the toughest on him throughout this whole entire playoffs. I just always kind of I know the talent's there. You know what I'm saying? He's a very talented player. It's like, I got to see it. Show it. And this is I was definitely 100% counting him out against Jokic. He's holding his own, man. He's not nobody's able to stop Jokic. Jokic can pretty much get what he wants. But I think that that's to the detriment of his team because Jokic is kind of the point guard for his team. And when Jokic is sitting there looking to score, he could just tell his guys didn't have the juice tonight. You know what I'm saying? So the juice just wasn't there. It wasn't flowing very well for the Denver Nuggets. And Jokic was he was a lot more aggressive than what I've seen him in a while. I haven't seen Jokic do that in quite a while. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he can always – you get what I'm saying, though. He's more passive sometimes than what he was tonight. But he could just tell, Michael Porter Jr. wasn't knocking down open shots. Caldwell Pope wasn't knocking down open shots. Jamal Murray was a little bit – for Jamal Murray's standards to go 7 for 15 and 3 of 8 from the three-point line.
That's not Jamal Murray, yeah.
That's an off game for Jamal Murray if he only gets 18 points. So you got to tip your cap off to the Miami Heat tonight, man. Yep. They absolutely came out. They came out ready, guns blazing. They were just ready tonight. I do believe, though, Game 3 is going to be a little bit different story. I think in Game 3, if I'm the Nuggets, I'm pushing that. I didn't see as much pick and roll action tonight with Jamal Murray and Jokic. Now, granted, credit to Miami defense because they were blitzing Murray almost every time he got that ball off of that pick.
Yeah,
which is what you should do whenever you're trying to stop the pick and roll. And they were basically saying, "Go ahead, Jokic. You want to go down there in the paint? You want to get them easy twos? Go for it. We're going to give you that, but we're not going to let Jamal Murray sit here and heat up from the outside." I mean, great game plan by Eric Spoelstra. I still think I'm still leaning towards 5 games, Corey. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, especially after the game that you've seen tonight. I'm just telling you, man. I think you're not – Michael Porter Jr. is not playing that bad again. Caldwell Pope is going to be able to hit some shots. If I can get Michael Porter Jr. 15 points, if I can get Caldwell Pope in the 10 to 15 range, and then you can get Murray up there in the 25 to 30 and have Jokic sitting there with a triple-dub at about, say, 28, 10, and 10, that's trouble. To me, that's the perfect recipe for I don't want Jokic sitting there having to be the main offensive player. While he's very capable of it, I think his best attribute is getting his other teammates involved and cooking when he needs to cook.
Correct.
And that's not what happened tonight. So shout out again to Miami for being able to stop that, man, because nobody's really been able to do it all postseason.
Yeah,
especially in Denver, ain't nobody been able to do that. So
no,
right.
I look. I think there's a consensus, and I agree with you. The more talented team is the Nuggets. Nobody's going to argue that, right? The thing is, you have to, and there's always psychology in sports. I kind of talk about this when we talk football during the season. These guys sat around and listened to people, not just you, but a lot of people on TV say, "Hey, this is going to be a short series. This is going to be a 5-1 deal."
They did. No, they did.
And this is the team that took out the Bucks and the Celtics, who had the best 2 records in the East. And so while I'll concede that the Nuggets are the way better team talent-wise, there's something to be said about grit and having a better coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the fourth finals for Eric Spoelstra. Not fourth. He did 4,
Fifth.
5. This is his sixth. This is his sixth finals.
Yeah, because he went to 4 with Braun and D Wade and Bosh
and then he had the one in the bubble. So this
Yep.
dude, he's been coaching in big games, man. The
Yep.
coaching, to me, that's a check in the Miami Heat's part. I think the way they jump in and out of, I can't say how much that zone really throws off a team, because that takes out a lot of the pick and rolls. You know, you talked about going back to that pick and roll offense. Well, you could shut that down if you just hop into a zone. They might even show a different type of zone come game 3. They might go to a 1-3-1. They might go to a 3-2. I don't know what they're gonna do, right? But they're not just gonna sit there.
They switch it up. They switch it up a lot.
They're not just gonna sit there and play the same defense and just get picked off like that. Now, the Nuggets, I will say this. For everything that we're talking about right now, they did have a 15-point lead, and they got to be kicking themselves, because a 15-point lead, it's in today's game, it's not automatic. But if you get up on a team at 15 in the playoff game, you got to close that deal.
Yeah.
You got to close that deal.
You absolutely. Absolutely. And they didn't. They didn't. But that just shows the grit and the toughness from an Eric Spoelstra coach team with a Jimmy Butler as your leader. And I mean, you said it after last game too. Vincent came out tonight. Strus came out tonight. He was 0 for 10, if I'm not mistaken, in that first game. Didn't score a single point.
He was 0 for 9 for 3, and I think he missed 1-2 points.
He started off hotter, then he kind of cooled off there in that second half. It really wasn't much. But Gabe Vincent, man, hit some big threes in that fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? And for Jimmy Butler to get that blow, I think he didn't have to come in until, about 7-8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And he was actually coming into a lead because Duncan Robinson, to me, Duncan Robinson was the unsung hero in this game for what he did at the beginning of that fourth quarter, because they were down, if I'm not mistaken, going into the fourth. Am I right or am I wrong on that? I believe that they were down.
It wasn't by much.
It was a close game. But he kind of came out and gave them like a little 5-point lead. Everything else got the juices flowing. They hit like their first 6 shots of the fourth quarter. So that's what it's going to take to be able to beat this team. But Corey, this was almost a perfect game by the Miami Heat. Can we argue that? Almost. Minus Caleb Martin not doing anything and not giving you much, but getting that production from Duncan Robinson and all the other players. Look at the double figures. You got all them players. And then go look over there look on the Nuggets side of things.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it perfect, because they were up. They started out with a bang, and then the Nuggets absolutely flipped being down double digits to being up 15 points. That's not perfect. I think what happened was Duncan Robinson was a big part of it. And they just started hitting some shots, man. To me, this was not a perfect game. The Nuggets left that door open. And it's just who the Heat are. If you leave the door open, they're going to walk in, bro.
They won the fourth quarter 36-25. Or the fourth quarter 36-25. That's what the box score reads.
And Mike Malone said he was pissed about them giving up 30 in the fourth in the first game.
You know,
and they gave up 36 this time in the fourth quarter, the second game.
Mike Malone needs to get his guys focused, because all I've been hearing is Mike Malone talking about how he swept the Lakers. I've heard that I don't know how many times, and of course I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm going to allude to that. But my gosh, get the Lakers off your mind, man, because the Miami Heat are sitting right there in front of you, and them boys are ready to play.
Yeah.
So it's cute and everything that you beat the Lakers, but if you don't win this series, it don't make – nobody's going to give a shit what you did.
Right.
They're just not.
He keeps bringing that up, but and on the same token, if you watch, I watched a lot of his comments yesterday. He keeps trying to say that the Heat aren't the underdog. Like, you know what I mean? He's trying to do like these backhanded compliments to the Heat. He's really trying to sell his team on, hey, we're not the favorite here. We haven't done it. We haven't done a damn thing yet. That comment got blasted everywhere over Twitter and stuff. And I'm like, bro, which one is it? You keep bringing up that you swept the Lakers, but you're not a favorite against the A seed Heat. And so I think he's got a lot of mixed messages. It's one or the other. This is what I love about the Heat. The Heat are like, bro, we're here.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler said it after game 1. He was like, we're fine. We're just going to come back and we're going to win game 2. He said it. He was like, we're going to come back and we're going to get this game 2. And what happened? They got the game 2.
They did it.
They're very direct. There's like, bro, we're not playing this underdog card. We're not playing a favorite card. We're going to come out. We're going to win this game. And sure enough, they won the game.
And so, Jimmy Butler didn't have a great game. No, this was not a great Jimmy Butler game. This was a great Jimmy Butler fourth quarter whenever he got in the game, though.
He closed.
I mean, he closed this thing out, and he basically just said, come on.
Yeah.
Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Y'all been holding it down for these first 3.5 quarters. Now it's time for me to put my cape on. About 5-6 minutes left in the game, he just started saying, y'all are not going to beat us tonight. And I mean, hey, I got to give credit where credit's due there, man. I mean, Jimmy Butler is he's a superstar.
He's got to be now.
That's what superstars do come finals. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So
this was a Gabe Vincent, Bam Adebayo, Kevin Love, Duncan Robinson type game. And then, like you said, Jimmy just came in at the end and closed the deal out. So
he handled his business. Yeah, and great defense by Bam. There was so many times though. I know you noticed this. They kept their little guys on Jokic up at the perimeter. They let Strus guard him. They let Vincent get in there and kind of dig at him a little bit. They weren't backing down, though. They were playing him tough. And Bam Adebayo played about as tough a defense as you can. Now, granted, it's not going to reflect that because it was sitting there at 41 points. But for Nikola Jokic to be sitting at 41 points and be minus 11 in the plus and minus, that's a big stat to me right there. Because that's not something that you usually see when Nikola Jokic does those kind of things. So,
as this series goes along, I would love to have the advanced analytic stats in front of me because I want to know how many of those passes, how many of those missed shots by Michael Porter, KCP, guys who didn't have a good game, who missed a lot of shots. How many of those shots came from the pass of Nikola Jokic? I really want to take like a deep dive and understand why did he only have 4 assists? That's
5 turnovers, Corey.
5 turnovers too, yeah.
You don't see that very often out of Jokic, my guy. So I was kind of sitting here pumping my chest a little bit saying there's no damn way, there's nobody that can stop him, which they didn't stop him. But like I said, when you have a great player, you have to take one of his strengths away. And one of his biggest strengths is passing the ball and getting his teammates involved. Yeah. They did that. They did that tonight, Corey. They did.
They did.
So
they did.
Yeah. Now, do I think they'll do it again in the next game? No. Because I think Jamal Murray's going to 30 ball him. He's getting 30 plus in this next game. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
So you got Nuggets in game 3?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. By at least double digits. By at least 10 points. By at least 10 points. I called it. They didn't close this one out. They didn't do what they were supposed to. He missed that shot at the end of the game, and that shot looked good. I mean, you give him that shot, and I'd say 5 out of 10 times he's hitting that shot.
He just hit 2 before that.
That's what I'm saying. I thought, if he hit. Yeah. Now, if he would have hit that one, we might be sitting here having a different conversation right now, Corey, because I think the Nuggets would have beaten them in an overtime because the Heat were kind of holding on to lead.
They had the momentum at that point.
Yeah, they were up by like 11 with like a little over 3 minutes left, and then Jamal Murray just started coming down there and stroking them things.
I agree
so
with
it's like
I agree with that.
We'd probably be having a different discussion. But hey, you got to tip your cap to them, man.
They built a big enough lead there at the end, so.
Hey, after this, before we hop off here, I do want to give a little shout out to some women's sports, man. I know this is our NBA Finals preview, but this is a live show. I want to, man. I'm a Sooners fan. You OSU. I'm sorry, man. Your Cowgirls couldn't get the job done today. Tennessee Volunteers came up in there. They beat you guys 3-1.
Yeah, they did.
Stanford, that pitcher, I can't remember her name. I don't even want to say it because I'll absolutely butcher it. She's an
Freshman.
absolute. She's a
Yeah.
freak.
Number
She's a freak.
24. Yeah.
She's a freak.
Yeah.
She is. Wearing the Mambas colors. I love it. Or wearing the Mambas numbers, number 24. If you put number 24 on, no matter what sport you're in, you better be a baller. And she absolutely is. But, the problem is, Corey, she about to go up against a
Yeah.
whole different animal in them Oklahoma
Yeah,
Sooners,
bro.
my guy. I mean, I don't know if you noticed. You probably do. And I'm going to be a little bit braggadocious here, Corey.
Not you. Not
What?
you.
No, never. But them Sooner girls, man, 1 through 9. 1 through 9. Most other teams, they got maybe 2, maybe 3 girls that you're like, okay, we got to get these girls out. We got to worry about these girls. And once you get past them, you're like, okay. And we can relax a little bit now and kind of go through these other 6. You can't do that with Oklahoma, man. You cannot.
No.
You can't. And not only are they one of the best scoring teams out there, but their pitching staff, they got 3 pitchers that would be anybody's stud on any other team.
Oh, they'd be the ace on any other team. Yeah.
Other than maybe Stanford, because that girl from Stanford is the real deal.
Yeah.
She's the real deal. Whenever we beat them that first time, Corey, it was an error by her outfielders. So you see what I'm saying? I'm a little nervous, but do I think that they're going to come pull up in there and come beat us twice in a row? Absolutely not. No, not.
No, you guys should win out. I'll say this about OU softball right now. It's starting to become UConn basketball in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s.
I would agree.
It's starting to become what UCLA was when they had John Wooden and they won those titles with Lou Alcindor and Bill Walton, all those guys. It's really starting to become one of those premier dynasties that just takes over a sport.
And there's people hating on it too, man. They don't like it. It's just like
nobody likes a team that dominates. I mean, you go back and you look at what the Warriors are doing a few years ago when they had KD, and it just wasn't fair.
Yeah.
You know, all dynasties at some point you start off as a darling and you become hated because people get tired of seeing you win.
Yeah,
and I never understood that about us as Americans, because you know we love to flex our muscle and say we're the greatest nation, and when it comes to like USA basketball, we think we're untouchable. But you know, America, they love an underdog story, and they don't like people to dominate. And OU softball is literally starting to become UConn basketball, UCLA basketball in the 70s and 80s. It's starting to become like the Celtics were in the 60s when they won 8 out of 11. It's starting to become that. You guys have won 5 in the last 10 years?
5 in the last 9. If we win this year, it'll be 6 out of 10,
bro. Like it's starting to get ridiculous.
I love it.
It's starting to get ridiculous. It's not fair. And then like
it ain't going anywhere anytime soon either, Corey.
And you got great players from other teams transferring in, wanting to be a part of it. It's like Alabama in the 2010s. That run, it's just like Georgia. What they're doing now is just complete demolition and domination of the sport, and it's disgusting, and I hate it.
I love it.
Close us out.
I love it. I love it. Patty Gasso, the GOAT, man. I love it. Had to throw that in there, though. I know, like I said, this is our NBA Finals stream, everything else, but hey, people are going to love that little tidbit about the women's sport because softball is quickly growing as a big sport to watch out there. Yeah. So, as always, Corey, this is the House Divided tonight, guys. I want to hear from y'all. Drop down there in those comments for us, guys. Let me know who's winning Game 3. Is this series a little bit up in the air for you guys now? Are you still you agreeing with me that it's going 5? Or are you over here with my guy Corey saying it's closer to the 7? Want to hear from y'all. As always, too, tap that subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you guys can be up to date on our newest and latest content. And also so you can be up to date when we go live, because this is going to be a real thing. This is really starting to happen here. The House Divided. We're making moves here. We're at 76 subscribers, guys. Who's going to help us get to 100? Always tap it. You know what it is, guys. So, as always, we sign on into this thing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and sign on out.
Peace.